Welcome back to episode 10 in the Youthful Revolution series featuring Immortal DC. We got a busy summer ahead with transfers and shaping a new tactic for the preseason. We will be starting today's episode in the squad planner to try and figure out where some of our strengths are and some of our weaknesses, just in terms of squad depth and also just generally speaking. Now, I do have all the new signings in here, and I do also have some of the best youth academy players in here as well in terms of squad depth with the numbers, of course. So let's just go from the top, or well, from the left here. Goalkeepers, Texterior, maybe fine for another season as a first choice, and we do have that new guy coming in, actually two new players coming in. That should be fine for, second and third option. So that's probably okay, especially with how he played this season. Texterior, I'm not too worried about it. He seems very, very good. Left hand side, we have 5 players that can play over here. Haug, Fadini and Silver is probably the 3 options right now. That looks like, first choice or first team. I'm gonna call it first team. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. In the central defense area, if we look at the total area, we actually have 7 players there. And some of them are good on the left-hand side, some of them are good on the right-hand side. We do have a lot of youngsters. Caio is coming in, Narcisio, Gonçalves might not be staying. I mean, there are some of these guys that might not be staying because of the contract negotiations that I just don't really want to keep them. So some of them might not be staying that we do see right now, but this is just the overall strength and weaknesses right now, right? So yeah, Gonçalves might not be staying. Grenaha, we should probably have trusted him a little bit more from what we could tell from the average ratings and some of the statistics we were looking at. He might be a little bit better than I probably gave him credit for, but I think we got a decent amount of central defenders. We might want some higher quality for first choices, and then maybe loan some of the other ones out, because that is probably an area where we could strengthen quite a bit, to be honest. We could strengthen in that area. Fullback on the right-hand side here, Fabinho, and we got that new guy, Hopfer, who might even be better than Fabinho, and we also got Emil Brown and 3 other players that can also play over here. That should be enough for that area. If we go one up here, we got the wingback on the right, which, we don't know what's gonna happen with the tactics, so there is actually a good chance something like that could happen. So we need to look at that as well. So we got 3 players that could play here, Fabinho, Thompson, and Fadini. I guess we could train Emil Brown to play here as well, but I don't know about that. He might be better on the other side, actually. And let's take a look at that side. So Haug, Fadini, and Emil Brown could play there. So we actually have 3 here and 3 here. So it's not out of the question. We could do something like that now. It's definitely it's a possibility. Unfortunately for Hopfer, he can't really play up there, but we can probably train him to play there if that's the case. If we do something like that. So DMCs, don't think Hashimi is gonna stay. I'm unsure about Fadigas. I'm unsure about Gonçalves. Opara is the only one that I know is gonna be staying, and then we also have a youngster in Guining. So we basically only have 2 that I kind of know is gonna be staying there, and it seems like a weak area to us. We don't really have anything really good there, and it might also have been a weak area in this season we just played. Yes, don't get me wrong, Hashimi did well. Hashimi did really well. But overall, probably a weak spot if we are to play defensive midfielders again. Further up, midfielder left. Yeah, we have a youngster that can play there, but no, just absolutely not. That would be a lot of work to be done there if we needed to play a midfielder on the left here, like a 4-4-2 or something like that. That's not gonna happen. But we do actually have a couple of players that could play on the other side, on the midfield right side here. So asymmetric stuff maybe. I don't know. Pedrinho, Severo, and Andy Thompson could also go up and play there. So not too bad on that side actually. In the midfield, now here's the thing: we haven't played with midfielders at all basically. There was one game we did it. But we do have a pretty decent amount of players that could play there. 8 in total. If we just take a look here, there is actually quite a lot of depth in there. So it's not out of the question we could play midfielders this instead of defensive midfielders, because we have a lot of depth in there. So there might be something formational with central midfielder because of how many we actually have that can play there. And we do have a mix of defensive midfielders along with more, going forward type of midfielders. So we have a good mix of things for the midfield. And we do have 4 on the left and 7 on the right hand side. I'm, splitting it up compared to if they're right-footed or left-footed. But I mean, that doesn't really matter all that much, except from in the central defense. But it does matter a little bit. So yeah, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Attacking midfield left-hand side, it probably was a kind of weak spot. Picciotto, yeah, I'm not even sure if he's staying. How long is his contract? 2026, and he might come in and ask for another contract. So he's just a little bit too inconsistent for me. I don't know. It's just one of those where you're just sitting there thinking, do I really want to keep him, or do I just want to find something that is better? Yeah, it might be the case. Chavald as well here. He's probably not going to be good enough for the first team. So he's just a youngster right now. How old is he now? 19? 18 still. So still time to develop a little bit, but probably not quite there in terms of first team football. So we are lacking in that area if we are playing again with wingers up here, but we might not do, because here's the thing, right? In this new thing where we are banning for 2 seasons, we are gonna have both inverted wingers and inside forwards banned. So we can only basically play wingers or wide target forwards or something like that. So I don't know. Maybe that's not the case this season. AMCs, or well, let's take the other side actually. AMR, Luan, Materias, Severio, plus a couple of other guys that can play there. Pedrinho can go over there. Picciotto could go over there, but still not. Whoops, I didn't mean to go all the way out. So not quite a lot of depth, though it does look like it. Some of them are not really natural out there, I would say. So actually the winger area is actually lacking a bit of depth, I would say, and also a bit of quality overall. Where we don't lack quality is the AMC roles. We have probably 3 of our best players, technically speaking. We do have 3 of our best players there. Luan, Pedrinho, and Waldman. Definitely all of them someone who likes to play in terms of their playing time. So I don't see a world where we're not going to play with at least 1 AMC. That would be... I think we need to do that with what type of players we have right now. That is some of our best players. Again, technically, they haven't really performed all that well. At least, no. I mean, Waldman did okay, but Pedrinho, not so much. But there could be a world where we are doing some kind of tactic where we have double AMCs. I'm not too sure about it, but we definitely have enough to do that. We have 6 players that can play there, so let's actually check up on who that is. It's Picciotto, Mercado, and Materias would also play in there. So that's a lot of players that could actually play in there. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Wow, that's really annoying. There we go. So yeah, AMC looks very, very strong. Very, very strong area. Where we are really weak is up top. I mean, Pena is, he had a good season again, don't get me wrong. But, I mean, I don't, going up another league, I don't think he's really, and he's not really the type of, he's probably not the type we are looking for. Well, it depends on the tactic, of course, but I mean, we definitely need to strengthen there. Almost no matter if we are playing with 1 or 2 strikers, I mean, we need something. So that's probably one of the main key areas where we need to strengthen. And then and again, right now I'm signing youngsters, not depending on a tactic. I'm just signing them depending on how good I think they are, no matter where or what kind of tactic we're gonna play. Because if we don't play that tactic that he fits into, whoever I'm signing, I'm just gonna, keep them in the under-19th or loan them out or something. I don't really care. I want a lot of youngsters so we can fit a tactic to whatever we can do with all those youngsters we have. So again, lots of transfers coming in, I think, with all those wages we have. So yeah, that's the squad view. A long one this time, but there was a lot to speak about. So we actually have a really big team. We just might need some more quality. And that quality is, of course, only coming from youngsters now, because we can only sign youngsters. So, but yeah, interesting to see what we're ending up with here. I think we are probably also gonna take a look at some of the tactical choices here. Maybe that's the next thing we should look at. So first off, we of course going to look at what is going to be banned, at least in terms of the formation and the roles here. This is the formation that is banned, obviously, because we used it this season. And also the roles we are looking at right here, right now, is the ones that was most used. I actually went through some of them that I needed to figure out, like the deep line playmaker here. Was it right or was it left? It was actually the right hand side that was mostly used. So deep line playmaker on the right is banned. Ball winning midfielder on the left is banned. Inverted Winger, so here's the thing, right? Materias actually did play the most games, but when he wasn't playing, it was Silver first as the inverted winger, and then Miranda as well, and sometimes also Pedrinho on the inverted winger. So it is the inverted wingers that are also banned, along with the attacking midfielder and the advanced forward up top here. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting to figure out what we're gonna do. And of course, with that, also last season's, this is also still banned. So we can't play inside forwards, we can't play pressing forward on this board, or advanced forward here. Ball-playing defenders, fullbacks, defensive midfielders. So that is also banned. Now, of course, I don't really want to go in and actually do any banning in here yet, because I kind of want to develop a tactic for in the friendlies. I don't really want to ban anything just yet, but what we can ban is, or well, we already know what is going to be banned, which is the positive. I did use the cautious quite a lot, but I actually went through. I don't have a, I can't really figure it out by. I should probably start noting down what I'm using the most. Because in this case, I did change a lot, but it was definitely positive that was mostly used, especially from the get-go in the games. But I did use cautious a lot inside the games. But positive is probably the one that we should be banning here. But hey, if you don't agree, then leave a comment. But I think positive was the most used. But I don't really have a way to figure it out. But I think positive is the one that was most used. So yeah, we can use balanced again. That's not a 2-year cycle. It's just a 1-year cycle with that one. Otherwise, it would be a little bit. I just feel like it would be stupid otherwise. So yeah, positive is banned. Balanced is open again. So that's good. So what are we gonna do in terms of tactic? Well, I don't know yet, but I have an idea. And yeah, 5-1-1-2-1. I don't know. Just bear with me here. I don't know, but maybe we do something like the good old Christmas tree. I'm not sure about it, guys. I'm not sure about it. But right now, it's what I'm thinking. But it's not something I'm very familiar with using. But we do have a pressing forward, which we are allowed to use in that role. We have the attacking midfielders, which is okay because the attacking midfielder was here before. Central midfielder on support, maybe. Defensive midfielder, because he can play here, because the other two are locked. We can't play defensive midfielders or ball-winning midfielders or deep-line playmakers on those spots. Well, that depends on which side we were using the ball-winning midfielder and whatever. We can definitely use the defensive midfielder there if we wanted to. And then we have a complete wingback. I don't know if that's... And wingback, I mean, just pushing them up so we can basically use them again. It could be also inverted wingbacks. Again, I don't know. I'm not too familiar with a 5 in the back kind of situation here. And then 3 central defenders, but we can't play them as central defenders. We can't play them as ball-playing defenders. So it's going to be white center backs and a no-nonsense or, something like that. Definitely going to be more interesting this season. In the preseason for me. Sweeper keeper, yeah, we only have 2 options, so that is gonna go back and forth basically. We can change this, of course, so we are kind of locked in. One season we're locked into defense like last season, and this season we are kind of we got more lead way to what we can do with it. But yeah, that's the initial thought process, but the problem is I have no idea how this is gonna perform in any sort of way. I don't even know how it's gonna do. I haven't really changed this in here yet. Well, actually, I did go more wide here, but I don't know if this is going to work. I also went in with distribute quickly. I don't think we had that on before. But I haven't banned anything, right? I haven't really thought about what we were banning. But we will be banned. Actually, I shouldn't have those things in. But we can look in here. We can look in here what is going to be banned, right? We need to go in here and actually figure out what is going to be banned. But I don't want to lock myself in yet because I'm not sure about this new tactic at all. I have no idea. It's just the initial kind of thing I was thinking about in terms of what positionings we could play and what we might want to have open and, stuff like that. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see about that. No, you know what? I was sitting here thinking about it and actually I just moved this down to balance, but I think we might as well do the ban now instead of wait until the preseason, just about the preseason. Because I might as well do it now because I'm probably not going to change my mind from here on until the preseason starts because I need to see games before I'm changing my mind. So we might as well go in and figure out what we're going to ban here. Yeah. Now this might be a little bit. I'm with the current tactic we might line up with. I don't think we want to take out the overlap right and overlap left. Pass into space, probably not, because that's very good. And I want to take out what I think is gonna be less consequential for us to sometimes use inside the matches as well. And I think low crosses is not really that important here. So I think we're gonna ban the low crosses. Yeah, we're gonna ban the low crosses. We're not allowed to use that with next season. Low crosses is out, but thankfully underlapping is back. So yeah, that's a 1 year cycle, not a 2 year ban. So we do have underlap back, but low crosses not allowed next season. Transition, yeah, it's gonna be an easy one. Roll it out. Roll it out is gonna be banned. I don't wanna get these two out. Yeah, roll it out is gonna be the one we. Ideally, I would never really want to take any of these two out ever. I don't really want to do that. They're just too good to use. But yeah, roll it out, banned. And in the opposition instructions here, ooh, this one is actually a little bit more tricky to figure out. I'm sitting here thinking for like 1 minute about all of these changes. The problem is, if we're banning this one up here, it's gonna be both of them, so it will only go down. It would go down to this one if we are doing that. So I don't think that's a good idea. This over here, I doubt it's a good idea to change that. You can do it. You can definitely do it. But I think with what we currently think about a 5 or 3 in the back kind of situation, I think step up more might not be that important, because I'm thinking we might want to play with a stopper or some kind of, where the central defenders are a little bit different in lines. So it might not be that important, but hey, this is the tricky one. But I think we're gonna ban the step up more. Thankfully, next season we will have the prevent short goalkeeping distribution again, so we are gonna be better in the trigger press. Because step up more is kind of important, I think, but it might not be as important in a free defense kind of situation if we are playing that, of course. I might change my mind, but yeah, step up more, also banned. All right, so Pedro Rodrigues, our captain, our old captain, is also coming in with saying that he's underpaid, which I suppose he is. He's on fairly low wages, actually. Now, this guy is probably the main guy when it comes to actually developing our youngsters. He is 32, so I don't really want him to play, but I will give him a new contract if he wants something like, I don't know, emergency backup or whatever, because that means we can not play him and still develop youngsters with him, basically like Opara, just a little bit better here because Pedro Rodrigues is better at it. So let's just promise that, and let's see if we can do something with him, because it would be a fairly good signing for us if we can get him on something that is not, too much of playing time. He wants to be regular starter. See, I can't do that. He's so far from regular starter in the next season that I don't really think that that's gonna happen. His physicals have already gone down quite a bit this season, and it's only gonna go more downhill next season. So I just don't see that happening. The maximum I could see is probably impact sub, but I'm gonna go down to fringe and see what he says. Yeah, he's not really having it. Let's go impact sub. Otherwise, we're gonna lose our captain and also a very good mentor, which I really hate to see. He does take the impact sub. Okay, it's still problematic, but I mean, he's probably gonna be good enough to be on the bench, but it's definitely problematic for my, rotational options. But yeah, let's see what he wants. 100. Yeah, this is about what I also wanted to give him. I definitely don't want this one in. Well, do I want that one in there? I might actually want that. I might want this guy as long as I possibly can. What about an optional contract extension here by the club? Would you like that as well, with 10 extra pounds in there? How would you like that? You take it. Okay. You know what? As an impact sub with 120 wages, he's our main guy to train our youngsters to get out of some really stupid personalities they have. This is not a bad deal. This is not a bad deal for us, and he will be good enough to be an impact sub. Or sit on the bench, of course. Okay, they're fine. That's actually a pretty good deal for us. I like that. I do actually like that. Having our captain, very good role figure. Yeah, that was good. All right, we got another signing, another youngster, of course. Well, youngster, he's 19, so accept. and yeah, I'm gonna accept them all. So when I already decided that far, I'm gonna sign them. He's fairly expensive, 220, and he's probably not gonna be the starter. So it's quite a lot of money for someone who is not a starter. Also 120 in appearance fee. Let's take a look at him. Hugo Giradin or Giradin. Giradin? Yeah, Hugo Giradin. But he is probably gonna be third choice, how I see it right now. Inverted wingback? Yeah. I mean, he's left-footed, so I would say he's probably more of a wingback. I don't know why they think he's an inverted wingback. I probably see him more as a normal fullback on attack sort of thing. His agility is not that great, actually. But overall, he got the decision making, he got the crossing we are probably looking for. Marking and technique, tackling is all decent. Physicals could go up, but I'm not sure how good he's gonna be this season. But again, 220 might be a little bit too much for this guy. He's also inconsistent, which is not too great, actually. I don't know why I thought this was a really good deal, but it might be a good deal. I'm just not... Yeah, now when I see him the second time, it's like, was that really worth it? It probably is. It probably is worth it, but it's gonna have to... Well, yeah, it's gonna be a question mark. It's gonna be a question mark if it's actually one of those signings that wasn't really worth it. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, we'll see. But that's another wingback. We have a lot of wingbacks now. Quite a lot of it. Actually, not that many, but we do have a couple. Okay, well, there we go. Another signing. I was kind of wrong about the B team. Unfortunately, the B team, we're looking at the training schedule here for the B team, and I can now see that they are still semi-professional because they only have 2 or 3 slots actually open. Well, as I know, it's actually more like 6 slots open for training. Now, if we go over to like the under 19th here and take a look at their schedule, if we move up to the current season we're going into, as you can see, quite a different story. So, unfortunately, that means we can't really use the B team for anything but just random players that we don't really want to train. Because if you don't have the, professional training program, it doesn't make a lot of sense using the B team compared to the under 19th or someone else's training facilities for that matter. It's like the B team is probably not gonna exist for us. I don't think I'm gonna use it because it doesn't really, they don't have any staff, they don't have the training every week. So why would I use it? I don't know, and I don't know how to change it. I don't think we can actually change it at all. I wonder if there's gonna come a scenario where we can change it, or if the board is gonna change it at some point. I don't know, but it seems a little bit stupid to me because we can't use it at all. Well, that's kind of unexpected. We are giving a new contract yet again. I don't know how big it is. 160, okay, 2-year new deal. Sure, I mean, we will take that. Should we try and get 3 years instead? Little cheeky one, 170. Okay, they do get, they will give us 170. Okay, I'll take 170 then. But yeah, it's not really important, is it? It's not really that important. But yeah, we are now 30th of June, which means in 1 day or 2 days we get all of our new players in. 11 signing confirmed. Yes, the 11 signing. Some of them we have seen. Well, actually, most of them we have already looked at. I just wanted to see what the fan reaction was, kind of reacting to this. The goalkeeper here, the youngster, seems to be fairly a happy addition from the fans. And I will go through them, put up all the training and stuff. But for now, just look at the fans' reaction. C on the other goalkeeper. So yeah, he's probably going to be mostly playing for the under 19th, I would think. Diego Pinheiro, or whatever his name is here, the fullback. Well, it's a B, so again, it's probably mostly going to be Bs because they're youngsters and they probably like to see that. Martin Hopfer is on a non-contract, £55. Kind of interesting. I would probably have, made a couple of more true contracts for these guys if I knew we were going up. But yeah, it's a bit random, isn't it? So Martin Hopfer here, only a B-. I think he's gonna be a lot better than a B-, but hey, it is what it is. Andy Thompson B-. Elio Silver is gonna be a B-. Cash, I can't say that name. I'm gonna rename him. That's just too much. It's a Dinmisk. I don't actually often do nicknames, but Cascal, Gustavo Cascal. There we go. Gustavo Cascal is a B-. Luan is a B+. Ibrahim Ganik is a B. Okay. Probably because he doesn't cost us anything. Interesting. Alright, cool. And Giradin is a B-, and also Kaio is a B-. Now this guy is someone we didn't really, well, you couldn't see him before. There he is. Yeah, I think he's gonna be good. That jumping reach and the heading is gonna be good for us, and overall his stats are quite high all round. He do not have the leadership, of course, but yeah, stamina is also only 6, but I think this guy is probably gonna be starting in. I could be wrong, but yeah, it's... oh wow, I didn't see that. Maybe I didn't have the full report then, because I would have seen that. He's an injury prone. That could be a problem. How many injuries do he have? None. Okay, that's alright. So how many seasons did he play, you know, really fully? Well, he played last season 26 matches without an injury. Yeah, and before that, nothing. Okay. So we might have a problem with him. That might be a mistake on my part, not having the full scout. I mean, I had probably the full numbers, but I might not have had the full scout, because otherwise we would have known this. Ooh, that could be a problem. But I mean, if that's the only mistake I made out of 11 signings, then I'm fairly happy with it. Team of the year is coming in quite late here in Portugal. But yeah, we do have 3 players in there. We got Fabinho, Texerier, and Fadini. I mean, that's, yeah, quite obvious that those 3 did really well. So yeah, happy about that. We also got the 2nd place in the manager award. So the transfer window is not quite going how I thought it would. I thought we would have a couple more youngsters by this time, but yeah, this is at least one. Jose Barbosa, I think his name is, but let's just call him Barbosa. He's a midfielder, and he's probably going to be playing for the under-19s in the first season, but pretty high ceiling. He got all the numbers you want to see against a central midfielder, plus he also got some pretty good ones when it goes to the Marseiller type. But yeah, balance is pretty high, decision making, technique, work rate, stamina, all the things you want to see on the midfielder. Determination 16, he is a realist as a personality. I just like him. I think he looks fairly decent. So yeah, very happy with that signing. Are we gonna see him this season? I don't know. I think he's just gonna develop a bit in the under. Now, we got so many good midfielders, so I think he's just gonna be in the under 19. All right, we do get one more. Basilio Santas, a 17-year-old winger, 110 wages, so fairly cheap. He is, well, there is a lot that he needs to be doing before he is coming into the first team, but you know what? I think he's good enough to sign. He has a pretty high ceiling, as we can see in the potential ability. So it's all about, do he get there? Who knows? Who knows? It really depends on him. It depends on him. So yeah, decent signing, I would say, but he definitely has a lot to work on. But yeah, there we are. Another young winger. Oh boy, here we go. So this is not gonna be the last one, but Fabinho do want a new contract, and yeah, I think pretty much the entire team wants a new contract, to be honest. Let's inquire what he wants. He wants a new contract. Wow, surprise, surprise. Okay, we will promise him that. Now, I do still see him as our first choice fullback. I do. So the question is, how are we gonna handle this? Because we are gonna offer him a new contract. What is he on right now? 100 and 100. Okay. Well, I think Hopfer is probably not gonna play that much this season. And who is this third option? Emil Braun, right? And he can really play further up the pitch, which right now it looks like we might end up playing. So he's definitely first choice. And he obviously also been good enough to deserve the first choice spot. So I guess we just give him whatever he wants up to, let's say 250 or something like that. Important playing time. I think we are probably more in regular kind of situation now. Will be appointed player captain. That would mean we would take that away from Rodrigues. I'm not against it. How high is his leadership? His leadership is only 9. Yeah, so that's not gonna happen. He's the vice captain right now, so yeah, I'm not gonna give him that. He's gonna take the regular player time. Okay, that's okay. But yeah, I can make him 325. That is a lot. He do want a 2-year contract. Promotion, wage rise, I do not like those. Let's check that out. The bonuses is okay, but I think this is a little bit too high. Let's try 250 here. It's gonna go down. I'm gonna go down to 250 again. He's gonna be a little bit of a struggle here. 250, let's give him 5 more here. There we go. Alright, 250 plus the 70 appearance fee. A little bit more expensive, of course, actually. It's 250% more expensive. But, I mean, we do have the money to give him that. And I think he has been good enough to deserve it. He's one of the best players over the last 2 seasons, if not the best. So, yeah, sure, why not? Let's give him that. And I think there is going to be more contract negotiations. If we go into the dynamics and go into happiness, all these dissatisfied players here, Pixioto, Giradin, really? He just came in. Oh no, it's Narcisio. Narcisio wants a new one, and also Brown wants a new one. And what do we have up here? We got Fadini, who's probably also want one, and Fabinho, yeah, well, we are just giving him a new one. So there is a couple of more players that is maybe in need of a new contract. I think Emil Brown is someone we would probably give it to, and also probably Narciso. But I already tried. But I guess we can negotiate again. No, it was a breakdown. He wanted an important playing time. I can't give him important playing time as a 17-year-old. He's not that good. You know, he's not that good. He's good, but he's not that good. Alright guys, I have just played the first friendly, and yeah, interesting match here. So here's the thing, we're playing someone really, really easy. This is a really easy match, so you can't really judge it too much. Very much in control in this one, 64% possession, of course. Now, there is 2 things I want to say. One, we're probably moving forward with this formation, the 4-1-1-2-1 or whatever we call it. One thing I just want to tell you guys is, if we come in here and take a look at the average possession here, and also the heat map from our team, starting 11, Immortal. So one thing I have a problem with here is the defensive midfielder and central midfielder. When we are defending, they're in the same spot, which leaves a lot of gaps in here in the midfield. We need to figure that one out. We also need to figure something out when it comes to how we are getting the ball from our central defenders into our most lethal kind of attackers. Because right now, I have a feeling we might not have good enough quality on the center backs and also the defensive midfielder. And then also we need someone on the striker area that can actually, you know, take care of all these wingback crosses that's going to come in, or also just being good enough in the pressing work for the attacking midfielders to get a lot of chances from the pressures. So I think we still need a lot in terms of first 11 here actually to make this work. That's my problem, and we only can sign youngsters, so we need a couple of star signings. Now we got the wages to do that, so I'm worried about this. But I can also see potential in it. But we definitely need some players specifically for this formation to make it work. So yeah, first match done. Oh boy, we finally get a striker. And yeah, it's been problematic. It's been problematic, very problematic actually. So Ferreira is coming in on a loan deal. Yeah, it's very slim pickings. It's like I can't find the type that I want, and I can't find someone who is good enough. This guy is just about there, right? He's just about there, and I think he's gonna be good for the season. Let's take a look at him. He is a pressing forward. He got the numbers I'm looking for. Stamina, work rate, outside of these striker things, of course. His weakness is basically that he's not a very good finisher, but it doesn't really matter too much with the way we're playing. It's more important that he got all the physicals, he got the work rate, he got the stamina, he got the strength, he got a bit of jumping reach. And I think with those numbers, he will score the goals. Now, composure is not high enough. Concentration, obviously not high enough. Decision making, yeah, no, it's not there. Finishing is 11, which is okay. First touch 8, not great. So he's missing some components, but the other key elements is there. So that's good. Long shots 12 is actually kind of interesting. So yeah, I'm very happy getting this loan deal over the... I'm very happy about this because it's gonna be hard to find anyone who is even remotely close to this guy in terms of quality. So at least we got a half-decent striker for next season. Second friendly is done and dusted. This is interesting, guys. We're playing against Benfica B, and I wouldn't say we destroyed them, because it was a 1-1. But what is interesting here, Benfica B got some really good players, right? They are definitely a better team than us in terms of quality on the players. Just a tick up in quality, I would say. And we still did really well here with this new tactic. So I'm very happy. Even in second half where we changed all our players around, still did okay. Now, I'm not sure why tactically it didn't work for them. 4-2-3-1, so I mean, that's a pretty good tactic. So I'm not too sure about that. But what I can say is our tactic seems to be working. I did change 1 or 2 things here. Well, actually, there's a couple of things I changed on some of the positionings. But the Anchorman is probably the most significant one that I changed. And as you can see, Rodrigues also on 3.2 here. And I think the first guy in there, who was that? That was... I forgot who it was. There was another... Oh, it was Upara, right? Upara, also 7.4 on that Anchorman. So, yeah, it's really interesting to see. And it hasn't really changed when it comes to the... whoops, I didn't want to do that. It hasn't really changed in terms of... when we are without the ball. The Anchorman and the central midfielder are still like in there, in the same kind of area. So what we are actually doing, we are actually trapping inside. So we are focusing the other team to go inside. And they are kind of just meeting that wall of a Anchorman and a couple of center backs, with the wing backs also pushing them in there. And that seems to be enough to win the ball back. I'm still worried about going forward, but I mean, so far so good. This is actually, because of the Anchorman, it has actually changed quite a bit. Because now we are more, strictly speaking, more of a defensive midfielder now, where he's not moving to the left or the right or anything. So the central midfielder is also more so being pushed a little bit more forward. And so we have this line, basically a line of 4 players in this area, and then we have these 3 guys that makes up the passing abilities, of course, because the attacking midfielder will come deep sometimes. Right? They will come deep sometimes, but more often than not, it's like a pass from Igor or a pass from Narcisio into the midfielder, who is then passing it out to Fadini, or a pass into the Anchorman, and then out to one of the wingers. More often than not, these are making runs in behind. The 3 up here, they're making runs in behind, and also making runs out deep. And so it's, I don't know, so far it seems to be working, but it's not a tactic I'm familiar with that much. But we do have some pretty good triangles in there, I would say. We do have some decent triangles. How is it actually looking on the path map here? Yeah, I mean, definitely the right-hand side here, as we can tell, a lot. But it's looking good, man, against a really good team here. This is looking very, very good. We got a couple of more signings here, and these guys are coming in from our affiliate, actually. Yeah, we finally get something out of it. The first guy here is only 6 months. Unfortunately, they only want to give us 6 months. So we might have a situation where we need some new players in the winter transfers. But for now, I'm okay with this. It's fine. Sidney Fernandez, we get a... Well, it does say center back, but I am planning to use him as a defensive midfielder. But he could also go back and play one of the center backs, and I think we are actually lacking some center backs, so it's kind of good to have him as that option as well. But for the most part, this is going to be the regular starter for the defensive midfield, I think. He's not quite good enough on the ball, and he's also lacking a little bit in the tackling department. But mental's looking really solid, work rate is good, stamina is decent. His balance is really good, so he's good, you know, when he received the ball in that kind of situation. First touch is 10, which is okay, I suppose. Decision making is 12. Bravery 19, so he will absolutely go in on everyone. he will go in on them, and that's gonna be important because we are trying to win the ball back in that kind of area where he's gonna be sitting. So yeah, I think that's gonna be a good deal, and he's gonna come in and probably take over from Rodrigues and Upara. I think he's just a little bit higher quality than those two, but it's very hard to find really, really good defensive midfielders that also are good on the ball. But yeah, this guy for free is a good deal for us. At least I believe so. Unfortunately, Pedro Brisada here actually rejected us. He was the second striker I was trying to get. He would have been a nice second option striker, wouldn't he? But no, he rejected us, and he was also from our affiliate. But we do get this guy, and that is also a central defender. And I think we are looking for a central defender that is a little bit higher quality than what we had. Also 6 months, unfortunately, but hey, it is what it is. So this guy is probably a pretty good wide center back on the left-hand side, at least how I see it. I mean, he's probably more of a defender because he don't really do dribbling. He's not really good on passing. But overall, he's just a good central defender. He got the mentals, he got the tackling, he got the jumping. Well, jumping reach is 11. But just, you know, he's basically just coming in as a little bit better than what our youngsters are. Also to try and just give us options down there. But I think he will be starting in. Positioning is 13. That's probably going to be important the way we are playing. Bravery 15, yeah. But definitely some missing things in terms of on the ball kind of things. So that's my only worry with him. On the ball, he's not really that great. But it's not important for us that they... Yeah, the wide center backs is not supposed to be... They are only supposed to just pass it short into our midfield, and that's it. I don't want them to go too far forward and do all kinds of crazy things. That's not what we are trying to do with him. Another thing is he's fairly strong on the left and fairly strong on the right, so he can also play on the right-hand side. So yeah, just a very versatile kind of player. He can even play as a fullback, not to great extent, but... I mean, I think just getting loan deals in from our affiliate that could fill some holes is probably going to be good for us. So yeah, another good deal here for me. Bruno Simão is coming into the club as a breakthrough prospect, a attacking midfielder on £220. Not too expensive, but also, you know, it's getting up there now. It's getting up there, but I think this is actually the lowest I can get them now. So quite expensive on appearance fee and also on use substitute fee. And he will probably be on the bench quite a lot. So let's take a look at him. He's fairly good. He got all the numbers that I'm looking for in an attacking midfielder. The technique, first touch, agility, flair, vision. Yeah, he definitely got all the numbers there. Where he's probably lacking a little bit is stamina. Actually, the only weakness is probably his stamina. It's not quite high enough to be a starter. But otherwise, he looks okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The passing as well. Passing 7. That is something we need to work on. But he is probably the 4th best attacking midfielder. So, or thereabout, but I think he will be part of the first team because we are playing with double attacking midfielders, and he will probably be like, yeah, 4th, 5th choice in there. So, pretty happy with that deal. Yet another midfielder is coming in, João Arthur. Yes, a Brazilian actually. I don't know why it's not saying his playing time, but he is a breakthrough prospect, and I think it's 220 in wages. Not sure why it's not showing that. It's actually kind of interesting, but yeah, coming in for us here, and again, I think we got plenty of midfielders, but I'm just signing players, like I've said it a couple of times now. I don't sign them because they're gonna go into the first team and just be a good player in there. I'm also signing them because I can see that these guys in a year, maybe 2 years, if we sign them again, because they are not here for long, but if we sign them again, it's gonna be easier to sign them again because they are already here. And if they do develop nicely, we want them here. We want them to be here. We want to have the best youngsters in Portugal, basically. Well, in the future, I mean, we don't have that, but in the future we will. So yeah, another central midfielder, and I guess he could also go down and play a deep line playmaker, sort of. He got kind of the technique and passing to do that. But yeah, I mean, in the games where we are really controlling it, we could potentially do something like that. But nah, I don't know if he's gonna be part of the first team. He's probably just outside the first team right now for me, but we'll see. Third friendly is done and dusted, and this is also very, very interesting. It's a 0-0, which you might think, oh, that's not very good. This is incredibly good. This is the best friendly I've played in quite a while. We are playing Wiz, which is our affiliate club. And yes, it is not their under 19th or something, or B team. This is the club. This is their first, it's basically their best 11 they actually pulled out there. This is incredibly good players. This is Premier League, or whatever it's called in Portugal, the best league. This is like that level of players, maybe slightly lower than that because they just got promoted up there. But these are definitely better than any of our players. Like, I mean, look at that goalkeeper. Look at that goalkeeper. Man, they got some really good players in there. We played really well. Let me tell you, this tactic might be a lot better than I thought it would ever be. Wow. I mean, wow. And we were in control, in possession here. We are very solid in the back line. Very solid. We play that kind of 5-2-3 kind of formation when we are out of possession. But yeah, it's interesting. Very interesting to see how well this is performing. And they are playing a 4-3-3. So that's usually something that is really, really strong in the match engine for the AI. But I'm a little bit surprised how well this is going. Yeah, it's just incredible. It's just incredible. I haven't even looked at the analytics, but I don't think I need to. I know how it's gonna look. it's just great. It's just really good news. All right, guys, I think we're gonna make a part 1 and a part 2 here with all the transfers and tactical stuff that is going on within this summer window. There's just too much. There's just too much, and there's too much I want to show and too much I want to. I like this format. I like to show a lot of the things that is happening with the transfers and stuff. Now we have played 3 of the friendlies, right? And wow, what it's gone really well with that tactic. 5-1-1-2-1 is what the game is suggesting it is called, with a defensive mid wing backs. Yeah, that makes sense. So we have 3 more friendlies before 24 days in we have the first game. So next time I think we're gonna play through the rest of these friendlies, also probably playing or at least showing a lot of the I mean, yeah, I showed the highlights and stuff from the games, but play through that as well. So yeah, kind of having 2 episodes within the transfers here because of how much is happening and things are still going on. I mean, it's not over yet. That's why I want to make 2 episodes here. So let's just end the episode here with the first part of this transfer window and preseason. So anyway, guys, I hope you really enjoyed this first part, and second part is coming out, well, in 2 days or so, something like that. So I hope you're enjoying it, and I will see you in the next one.